Hey everybody, Quad Nine's back with another cube section. We're on the green this time. We've done this episode on what's in the box. I'll do the podcast link down in the description below, so be sure and check that out. We go over just overall green. We rank our top 10. It's good stuff. But anyway, let me just start off with my newest additions. These are Eldritch Moon cards. I haven't added any of the new conspiracy cards yet. That set just came out. I'll be looking at some of those pretty soon, but these are the Eldritch Moon cards I'm adding. Haven't got them all full yet, but we'll do that eventually. Kessig Prowler, aggressive 1-drop, 2 power, no drawback. Late in the game turns into a 4/4 for just 5 mana, so it's never a dead draw. Really strong card. Noose Constrictor, just better than Wild Mongrel, which Wild Mongrel was never in my cube, but this one has Reach. The color shifting thing doesn't really matter. Reach is a big deal. Being able to discard is good sometimes, reanimate or whatnot. And just, the threat of activation is really big. It sneaks in a lot of damage or holds off bigger attackers. Ishkana Graph Widow, cards just got good value. Just at 5 mana for a 3/5 with Reach, it's pretty good. If you ever have Delirium, you get a huge bonus. You probably won't activate this very much, if at all, but it's a thing. It can happen, especially if you do get all the spiders from Delirium. But pretty strong card. I've been happy with it. I did pick up a couple fulls. Got Grapple with the Past, 2 mana instant. If it wasn't instant, it probably wouldn't be playable, but it is. So it can get you that big creature back that's already been killed late game, or just find you your 3rd or 4th land. Fix your mana a little bit. If you got a fetch land, you fetch it, put it in the yard, and then cast this, get it back, get another land. Solid card. Sweet art, too. Eldritch Evolution, this card is pretty sweet. I like it a little bit better than Birthing Pod. It's a one-time use because it exiles itself, but the fact you can get X plus 2 or less gives you a wider range of creatures. You don't have to have that chain in Birthing Pod. We have to have one in every CMC. This one, if you just have 3-drop, you can go get your 5-drop that wins you the game or does what you need right then. Or maybe you've already got a 4-drop out, but you need to get Rex Sage to blow something up. This does the job. So if you're not trying it out, try it out. On to Planeswalkers, which are pretty good. Green's got some of the best. And 3-mana Planeswalkers are usually very good. And Nissa Voices Zendikar is a great one. I just picked up the San Diego Comic-Con zombie Planeswalkers, so I forgot the pack full, but I put this one in here because, she's got flowers growing out of her head. It's just sweet. So, 3-mana Planeswalkers, usually good. This one pumps out tokens, makes your team bigger, or gains you life and draws you cards. For 3 mana, what else can you want? Garruk Relentless, very splashable, just 1 green, does a lot of things. It's got 5 total abilities, flips, of course, it can kill things, pump out tokens, tutor for creatures, and has a kind of an overrun ability built into it. So if you can splash grant it all, this is worth playing in most decks. Garruk Wildspicker, the original Garruk, does cost 2 green, but it ramps you pretty hard, can play defense, pumping out tokens, and overrun the turn after it comes down. So that's a pretty big game. If you got mana dorks out, they can actually end the game out of nowhere. People don't even see it coming. They see the ramp part. They forget about his overrun ability. Freyalise, this card gets better the better artifacts and enchantments you have in your cube. Being able to just blow one up and she still sticks around, it's a big thing. Also pumps out mana dorks. If you ever get to -6 and draw even 2 cards, you're just probably way ahead. Garruk Primal Hunter, a lot of times he comes down, he dies immediately and draws 4 or 5 cards. Not the worst. Also, he pluses to make a 3/3 beast. Not many Planeswalkers pump out 3 power on the plus. Elspeth Sun's Champion is really good because of this. She does the same thing. This one's less bodies, but it's a bigger body. And also the plus and minus work together. You can make your own creature, draw 3 cards. The ultimate never really happens, but it's cool. Nissa Worldwaker, really good against control decks. Being able to make a creature or land into a big threat. 4/4 with trample is no joke. Being able to ramp really hard, really good as well. The ultimate doesn't really happen, but if it does, you probably win. So trampling lands are good, I hear. All right, on to Instants. Got Berserk here, got the OG. It just got reprinted, of course, in Conspiracy. I like the original a little better, although the new full does look pretty sharp. So Dan Fraser art, pretty good. You can actually cast this on your opponent's creatures, and it will kill them, but they do get a big power bump at least one time. So there's that. Give them trample and all that good stuff. But yeah, you can kill somebody out of nowhere with this, with any kind of big creature. They think they're chump block, and then, oh, by the way, they're dead. Vines of Vast Wood, more like a green counterspell. Green, my guy doesn't die. Oh, by the way, he's bigger now. So, and sometimes it's just counter that removal spell. So pretty strong green. Beast Within, the original green removal. There's some a little different now. This one leaves behind a 3/3 beast token, which, if you have ways of bouncing or blowing up 0 CMC stuff, doesn't matter. Also in green, a 3/3 doesn't get through a lot of green's creatures anyway, and it gets rid of planeswalkers, troublesome enchantments, artifacts, anything, even their land, their best land, creature land, fixing, whatever. Krosan Grip, it can get rid of a Sensei's Top. That's how good it is. Split Second makes it really good, even though it is 3 mana as opposed to a regular Naturalize effect, which is 2 or so, but the Split Second makes it worth the extra mana. Court of Calling, toolbox card, a little bit better than some others because it's instant speed and it has Convoke. However, you can also get any creature out of your library, not just green. Most of the green tutors have to search for green creatures. But this one gets any creature and it's instant speed. Yeah, you can really blow an opponent out with this. On to the sorceries, if I can pick them up. Ta-da. Explore. You may draw a card, and you draw a card and may play an additional land. You don't have to play a land. Sometimes you don't have it and you draw into it. Sometimes you have it and you get an extra card. It's 2 mana. Worst is it cantrips and replaces itself. And the John Avon art looks really good in full if I can get the glare off. So yeah, really sweet card. Farseek fixes really well and ramps. 2 mana. These two are pretty much the same card. Cultivate Kadama's Reach. This is an arcane spell, which currently doesn't really matter in my cube. There's just a couple things that splice onto arcane, like Through the Breach, which I don't think I play. Anyway, yeah, you get to search up 2 different basic lands, put one in the battlefield, one in your hand. So definitely fixes, ramps, good stuff. Search for Tomorrow is 3 mana normally, but most people, time you suspend it for 1. Comes into play not tapped, so that's big. The turn it comes off, suspend, you get a real mana bonus, and especially if you're not doing anything with 1 mana on any given turn, suspending it really strong. Harmonize. Green draws cards almost as good as blue, not quite as well, but this one, 3 cards for 4 mana. Blue's got Divination, 3 mana for 2 cards, but 3 cards is just a lot, and 4 mana, not too much to pay for 3 more cards. Natural Order, like I said, this is one of the green tutor type effects. It has to get a green. You have to sack a green creature and get a green creature, but sometimes you have mana dorks. And what's a green creature? Craterhoof. Progenitus counts as green. Dragonlord Tarka. Those are usually my big 3. Avenger of Zendikar is not as good with few lands in play, but it's still pretty good. You got Woodfall Promise, also a good target. We'll get to those creatures later, but anyway, really good. And Therese Nielsen art, once again, great stuff. Plow Under, this is the correct art. In addition for this, if you have a white border, get rid of it. Even if you have that art in full, consider getting this one. It's got better flavor text. It's much better. It's an Urza Saga block full, or Urza's block full. They're hard to get. I think this is actually Destiny? I always get Destiny and what's the other one? Saga, Destiny, Legacy. Yeah, I think this is Destiny, pretty sure. Anyway, really love the art here, and the old border foils are tough to beat. Primal Command, underrated card. All the commands except for red are very good. This one does all the things that green wants to do. It gets rid of permanents they can't normally get rid of, non-creature of course. Can mess up graveyard strategies, can gain you life, can tutor for a creature. Just pick 2. Any 2 will do. So, Green Sun Zenith. Yeah, like we said. Green creatures, put some directly on the battlefield. They have to counter it before you choose what you're getting. You can do it for X or less, which is good. Sometimes it just goes get you an extra mana dork. Sometimes it gets you wing condition. Really sweet card. Reason it's banned in Modern. Tooth and Nail. A lot of kind of instant I win type effects with this. If you can entwine it, if you pay 9 mana, you can get 2. You can still cheat mana, get 2 huge creatures, and sometimes one on the spot. On to the artifacts and the single enchantment. Here's my German 4 and black border Fast Bond. It is very powerful. There's a lot of ways you can just combo off with this, just get tons of value. whether it be Draw 7s or Course of Crucifix or like Strip Mine or Wasteland with Crucible Worlds. All these things are pretty good. Sometimes if you just like, play it and then play out 3 more lands on your first turn, that's good enough. Like that's really going to be okay. So it's Abandoned Legacy. That should tell you enough right there. Oath of Nissa, sweet card. It's got good card selection that replaces itself the first time when you cast it, and it stays out there, and you can cast any Planeswalker for any kind of mana. So you can play Ob Nixilis in a deck with Tamiyo, or the new Tamiyo, Field Researcher. It's just that good. So if you have a lot of Planeswalkers in your cube, play the card. Oath of Druids, I love a good Oath deck. Usually involves Gristlebrand or Eldrazi, Sundering Titan, stuff like that. You can also play cards or creatures that you can sack, like Yavimaya Elder, Secure Tribe Elder, or if it's a creature that can destroy an enchantment when it comes into play, like Rexage. You don't want to hit Rexage usually, but if you do, like maybe they still have more creatures than you. Keep it around, blow up something else. Maybe you blow this up because you're ahead and that was just the last activation. You don't want them to get any more. A lot of stuff you can do, but Oath decks are really fun. You should try and draft around it sometime. It has a lot of instant win type things. Survival of the Fittest, cards busted. It tutors up cards, puts cards in graveyard, do it at instant speed multiple times a turn. It's great. Sylvan Library, this card's really good. It lets you look at extra cards. You can keep those cards for 4 life per card, or you can just fix the top of your library. I've won a few games that I shouldn't have been to win because I had library in play. I do like this art a little bit better, although the Eternal Masters foil is very sweet. Awakening Zone, I like this a little bit better than From Beyond. From Beyond has the extra tutor for an Eldrazi, but it's 4 mana. This one gets out a little bit earlier, and it does 0-1s instead of 1-1s. Still kind of prefer this one, so there's that. Song of the Dryads, this is probably the best green removal now over Beast Within because it gives them a forest and not a 3/3. However, it being an enchantment, it is prone to removal, and then their thing comes right back, and then it's kind of like it has haste because it's been on the battlefield. So I've had them blow it up at the end of turn and hit me with an Inferno Titan. Not cool. And then Birthing Pod, like I said, you have to go up the chain with it, but it's repeatable, just value. And you don't have to have green to play it. You can pay for X in mana, and we all know for X in mana, very busted. So yeah, there's tons of combos with this. If you have ways of untapping it, you can use it multiple times a turn. Once again, if it's Abandoned Modern or Abandoned Legacy, you should probably take a look at it because it's probably good in cube. On to the creatures. Could try and speed this up some, but here's the Mana Dorks. Got Arbor Elf, Avacyn's Pilgrim, my favorite, Birds of Paradise, the 7th edition full. Very sweet. Love the art. Old border. Good stuff. Elves of Deep Shadow doesn't get enough love. Now, it deals the damage to you, but it makes black mana. That's kind of what it does. The art's amazing. It's sometimes you just need that extra mana dork for ramp. Don't care what color it produces. Elvish Mystic, I don't like this art actually. I'm gonna replace it soon with just a pack full or something, but still, Elvish Mystic, just another Llanowar Elf type effect or Fyndhorn Elf. This is the only full of Fyndhorn Elf, and the art's okay. The flowing process, not so cool, but still very good. Tree Speaker, it's Soul Ring on an elf, basically. You play it and level it up, and then it untaps, and you're just so much mana. You don't really have to get level 5. You can. If you get more elves, great, but usually this one by itself, still really good. Llanowar Elves, the original Mana Wrap Elf. This is the beta I got from Open Boosters. I don't particularly like the art as much as some other ones, like say the 7th edition, but I like the beta. I try and pick them up whenever I can. Just don't always have them, but these are nice. Noble Hierarch, probably second behind Birds of Paradise because it's got Exalted, and that, these colors are, a lot of times when you need. It doesn't make red or black like birds, but still a very strong card. It's a human and a druid. Sometimes those matter, most time not. Anok Survivalist, I do have a pretty good morph / mega morph package in the cube, and this one's just the one that blows up artifacts and enchantments. And then if you flip it, turn it over, it gets the counter, so it's a 3/2. And you've invested a total of 5 mana, so you've paid 5 mana for a 3/2 and blown something up. Not the worst. Den Protector, same deal. You've spent 5 mana to do its thing, but it does the Eternal Witness, where it gets the card back from your graveyard, and it's a 3/2 as well, but creatures with power less than it can't block it. So tokens, like small tokens, can't touch it. It's really good. Dustwatch Recruiter lets you look at cards to draw creatures, and if it flips, they're cheaper. It's a 2/2 when it comes down, can be a 3/3, just a bear with upside. Kind of card I like, kind of like Final Shaman, a bear with upside. It's got the survival of the fittest effect on it. Unless you can untap it, you know, do it once a turn, but you can still do it at instant speed. Still a really strong card. I'm surprised it doesn't see any modern play. It's just tutors like this are really good. Also, it's kind of a discard outlet, so there's that. Lotus Cobra loves fetch lands, just loves land drop in general. Makes any color, fixes, ramps, and it can attack for 2 in a pinch. So that's a thing. Rattleclaw Mystic, another morph card. If you do turn it face up, you get this nice little mana flare, not the card mana flare, but you get this mana bonus, and it, you know, fixes for 3 colors, which is pretty good. I mean, obviously you don't have to have green in your deck to be able to flip this card, and it taps for green. So technically, you can run this in a non-green deck and still get your ramp and fixing. It's the only one I can think of that does that. Rafellos, the best mana elf, probably the best green creature. I like, kind of like, I think Primetime or Craterhoof. They're all three really close in the running. I had this a little lower on my list than Zakiel, and he almost killed me. So definitely go listen to the green episode. It's funny. But yeah, Rafellos, you have to play a lot of forest, but that's a small price to pay for all the mana this guy makes. Secure Tribe Elder, known as Steve. Once again, you can sack him to put a basic land into play tapped. So he's ramp, he's fixing, and he can, you know, block for a turn, and you just sack him before damage. Really good. Scavenging Ooze just wrecks a bunch of strategies because it can gain life, it can eat up like reanimator cards, stuff like that. I hate it when I play Dredge in Modern when I see this card because I have to kill it really fast or I can't do anything. It should probably be more expensive than it is. I look for it to go up soon. Yeah, so it can take over a game by itself if you don't deal with it. Sylvan Advocate, just crazy card. People didn't like it that much when it first came out. First of all, it's an elf. That's good. Allied doesn't matter as much in my cube. In some tribal cubes it does. But it's a 2/3 with Vigilance for 2 mana. Only 1 green. Like Nissa's Chosen was double green for a 2/3 that did almost nothing. Like you got to put it on the bottom of your library, whatever. This one gets bigger when you get 6 lands, makes your land creatures bigger. But yeah, 2/3 for 2 with Vigilance. Sign me up for that. Sylvan Caryatid, 2 mana for 0/3 Defender with Hexproof that taps for any color. That's the worst thing about some mana dorks. You play it and they bolt the bird or bolt the elf, whatever you want to call it. This one, bolt proof because it's hexproof and fixes your mana really well. Tarmogoyf, not much to say about it. It's a great card. It's not as good in cube as it is constructed, but a lot of the times it's still like a 2/3 for 3 that gets bigger as the game goes on. Sometimes I play it on turn 5 and it's a 4/5. You know, if they had a Planeswalker die, it could be a 5/6. It's just really big. Wall of Blossoms, you know, they have Wall of Omens in white. Well, the original was green, and it's Wall of Blossoms. It draws a card, 0/4 Defender, puts up a big defense, and draws you a card. Eternal Witness, that sweet Therese Nielsen art. Gotta love it. But yeah, it returns a card from your graveyard to your hand, any card, and you know, it's just 3 mana. There's definitely a lot of combo implications. You can blink it, get back other cards. I don't know, one of my favorite green cards actually. Managorgia Hydra, people underestimate this card, but it has trample. If you don't deal with it soon, like red can't touch it after a couple turns, you know, it just gets really big, and even just trying to play blockers to maybe trade with it, it just gets so big. I don't know. It's one mini games that I shouldn't have win because of that card. Nissa Vastwood Seeker, she does flip over into Planeswalker, but she starts off as a creature. 2/2 for 3 that goes gets a forest, puts into your hand, or basic forest. Wishes a forest card, but you know, can't have everything we want. When you flip her, she's just all the value. Rex Sage, one of the best utility creatures in cube. It only costs 3 mana, destroys things that bother me, and it's an elf bonus. Tireless Tracker, you just don't realize how big this card gets. It draws you cards, and you know, you're just playing lands, doing your normal thing, and getting all these card draw, and it just gets big because a counter for every clue you sacrifice adds up really fast. Another card that if they don't kill it fast gets big. Doesn't have trample, but the card draw makes up for that. Wood Elves, One of the not everybody plays this card, but it does any forest card, not just a basic forest, puts it into play not tapped. 3 mana. The 1/1 doesn't matter. The fact it does, any forest into play untapped. Really good. You sub a Dragon Claw. Not everybody plays this, but they should. You put a sword on her, and she becomes ridiculous. Can steal creatures. If you have Sack Outlet, all the better. Yavimaya Elder, another mana fixer. You can also draw a card with it. So you go through the 2 lands first, and then you draw the card, so you thin your deck out of lands. Oracle. I might only have 4 creatures in my deck, but Oracle will be one of them because the extra lands per turn is big. Getting to the top of your library is good. If it's a land, you get to play it, so it's like drawing a card, really, and it's ramp. Polukranos can wipe out boards very fast. It's not my favorite 4-drop in green, but it is very strong. Thelanet Hermit, one of my favorite morphs because it makes saprolings. Of course, there's one that makes squirrels, but it doesn't morph. I was trying to make morphs a thing in my cube. Thrun the Last Trollololo, can't be countered. Not as strong as it used to be, but still can take over a game against control deck. Acidic Slime, blows up things, has Death Touch, trades with anything that's not indestructible. Conclave Naturalist, blows things up. Got the game day art there. Thragtusk, gains life, leaves a beast behind. If you can blink it, you just get way ahead. Whispered Elemental, takes over a game. Like if you've ever untapped with this, you realize it's really good. Great Oak Guardian combos with Splinter Twin type effects and pumps your whole team, untaps them kind of ambush style. Primetime, my favorite green creatures, gets any land, 2 lands every time it does anything, like attacks, comes battlefield, whatever. Vengeance Zendikar, got this art, which is pretty good. Makes an army just in a can. They get big, ends games. Hornet Queen, same thing. Army of Death Touchers that fly. That breaks Colorpile a lot. Woodfall Primus, love to be able to sack this and just bring it back, because Persist blows all the good things up. And finally, Craterhoof, as I'm running out of time in this video, but Craterhoof is my favorite. I deal 80 with this thing sometimes. It just ends games. Love some hoof. So, sorry for the quick ending there, but the camera's about to die. And just put in the comments below your favorite green cards. If I left any out, go listen to the What's in the Box episode. If you haven't heard already, we go over our top 10 that I didn't have time to do today. But yeah, thanks for watching, and look for the other colors coming soon.